Yeah, I thought the guys were magnificent, to tell the truth, especially playing against a really good team away from home. You know, it's very hard to win away from home in this league, and obviously we had quite a few injuries and quite a few guys who hadn't even had pre-season minutes, let alone league minutes. I don't like saying names, but I thought the centre halves were fantastic. I thought Jackson was probably the best game I've ever seen Jackson play, to tell you the truth, and I thought he was just immense. He was amazing today, and everybody was. Everybody was great, and it just, it capped off, I think, with Julio's kind of save at the end. Just, was the icing on the top from it. We're just a real hardened, professional away performance.
Bradley Orr looked like he was having a little bit of a nagging injury in the back of his right leg, but he kept on ticking and throwing himself in front and communicating until the very end.
We had 5 or 6 of those guys who were out there carrying knocks and carrying little strains, and it was pretty much who was the most injured had to come off. So we're. It wasn't pretty, but it was such a hardened kind of performance with backs against the wall. Even the guys that were playing out there were carrying knocks. So I couldn't be proud of the guys. I thought it was a great result.
This was a game that really tested the depth of this team with all the injuries going into it. You've had Issei Nakajima-Farron since training camp. How good does that feel now to see him be able to come out and contribute for the team?
Yeah, I mean, again, we know where our weaknesses are, and we know our strengths, we know our weaknesses, and we're not hide the fact we've still got a lot of work to do. We've got to get deeper. These guys have got to get experience. Even the older players, even Brad, Bradley Orr, that's just, and Julio, it's not MLS experience, and that's what they've got to get. But it's pleasing that that the guys, I'm so happy for them, because what we worked on, they did it perfectly.
Nobody gave you guys a chance back home in Toronto. Is that used as motivation at all? Any of the players use that as motivation? Do you use that as motivation when you're speaking to the players?
No.
Do they know about that?
No, not at all. We don't use that as motivation at all, because, as I said, we don't really kind of listen to anything bad or anything good. We have our own goals and our own kind of standards, and that we kind of adhere to, and we knew that it was a very winnable game if we were disciplined, if we were hardened, if we did the dirty stuff, and we did that very well. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's a lot of things we could improve on, and there is going to be things, but considering the absences we've had, and I think the lack of playing time that any of us, the whole squad has had together, it's a really pleasing performance.
How do you explain the highs of going to 2-0 and beating Seattle on the road, and then going to Salt Lake and getting kind of run off the field, and then coming back here and now putting in another performance that makes you look like you're one of the best teams in the league? How do you kind of explain the roller coaster ride, like you always say?
Well, that's what I said. I said it's going to be a roller coaster. You guys don't believe anything I say anyway, but it's going to be a roller coaster for the first, hopefully not as many games, but X amount of games before the team finds itself, and we grow together, and we learn about each other, and we know where our strengths are, we know where our weaknesses are, and we learnt from Real Salt Lake. We learned our lessons, and look, we're going to have more lessons that we're going to learn from. And what I like about these guys is that they listen, and they work hard, and they try and put into kind of practice what we kind of work on, and yeah, there's going to be more lessons that we're going to have to learn from, and we're going to get criticised, and then we're going to get told we're the best again, then we get told we're the worst, and we let everybody do the talking, but we just have to keep our feet on the ground and just keep working hard.
Can you sum up Nick Hagglund? And probably there's a little bit of added pressure on him tonight. His debut in Major League Soccer, playing in front of a lot of family and friends. It didn't seem to faze him.
Oh, he was fantastic there. I thought the centre backs, both him, Nick and Brad, were incredible. They played very, very well, and you wouldn't think that's both those guys' first game as centre backs in an MLS game, and they're a very good team, Columbus. They're very well coached. Greg's done a great job with them. He's got a really nice balanced squad, and they've got some really dangerous players. But the only really danger we kind of had was a few scrambles across from crosses and all that. But there was only really a couple of clear chances where I think we probably had the best clear chances in the game, and we hit the crossbar, which probably should have gone in, and then Michael's in the first half, it should, it's a great opportunity, and a couple more, and that's what we're trying to get when we're trying to learn about ourselves and get better as a team. But
so are you learning more about this league and about the teams in the league? I mean, tactically, the team seemed to be perfect on the day. Like you said, they didn't have any real threats except for the end. It seemed like you guys were pressing high in the first half, making their back four try to play out of danger, and then in the second half you kind of sat in a little bit and protect the lead. Tactically, I mean, what did you think of the game, and did it go the way you had planned it actually?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that, you know, we knew the strengths of Columbus, and we knew some of their weaknesses, and we knew if we're patient, we'll get clear-cut chances, but we had to be disciplined because they're a very good team. So, you know, yeah, we have our own tactics. We know, or we think we know, that we give these guys the best opportunity to win games. Sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't. It won't come off. Sometimes we'll get it completely wrong, but that's what we work on, and it's pleasing, especially away from home in this league, because it's very hard to win away from home in this league, for things to go well.
Is that just the expectation now with Michael Bradley that he's going to put in a shift like that, come every time out? I mean, the guy's coming off 90 minutes midweek, and comes out and scores the opener, and he looks like he's full of energy throughout the game.
Well, yeah, that's Michael. You kind of tell him to manage the game, you know, manage your body, manage the game, but he just has this this willingness just to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. It's instinctive, and we're learning about I'm learning about Michael as well. You know, like how he plays and his strengths and everything. I said, I mean, all the players, you know, it's the same kind of thing. We're just trying to get better as a team.
Do you think he's the best player in North America right now?
Well, there's some fantastic players in North America, isn't there? You know, Michael being obviously one of them. And, you know, I don't like saying who's better and who's worse, or I don't like kind of judging that. But what I can say is I'm 100% glad he's on my team.